afternoon, you're watching ISTV English News. I'm Surbala Kangapam. In today's top stories, we have 38-hour general strike called by Joint Action Committee formed in connection with the death of Robin Hood brings normal life to a complete halt. The news in detail. The 38-hour general strike called by the Joint Action Committee against the brutal killing of Sapam Robin Hood, demanding immediate suspension of those police personnel involved in the incident of death of the student, has affected normal life enormously. All shops and business establishments in Imphal City and all parts of Khairamban Market remain closed during the general strike. Passenger vehicles stayed off the roads. Interstate passenger vehicles and goods trucks did not ply. Police pickets were deployed at sensitive points where people's protests are usually intense and prone to turn violent. As of now, no report of untoward incident has been received from any part of the state. The general strike has caused all markets in Bishnupur district to remain closed. All shops and business establishments pulled down shutters. Attendance in government offices was minimal. District police has taken up adequate security measures to prevent any unwanted incident. In solidarity with the movement for ILPS, Paying Apunbal Loop yesterday took out a torch procession last night. The participants shouted slogans on implementation of ILPS and punishment to the police personnel involved in the death of Sapam Robin Hood. Institution of judicial inquiry into the death of Sapam Robin Hood by the state government is only a well-calculated ploy to buy time. Unless the government releases the 7 students arrested by police in connection with the movement by July 30, the movement will be intensified, the students' wing of JCILPS has warned. In a press release, media coordinator of JCILPS, Bijando Yurembam, stated that the policy of the government to institute judicial inquiry into the death of Robin Hood is only to delay the matter and to invite more unwanted incidents. Unless the 7 students detained in the judicial custody are released by July 30, the JCILPS is ready to intensify the movement, the media coordinator warned. And before we move on, a short commercial break. Stay tuned.
I'm ready. Telero. Editor ka late. Some say hujik pudi perfectly straight ado kankhar kandadi freezy. Relax. Perfectly straight.
Aina semi anoba sunsil perfectly straight with straight lock technology maramdi. Some kankraba matung dasu align straight oina laina bagidamo.
Wow. Hujik su straight oirina. Straight and gorgeous. Sunsilk perfect straight. Lock top you, rock top you.
And moving on to some national international news. The last rites of former President APJ Abdul Kalam are likely to be held in his native town of Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu, in keeping with his family wishes. President Kalam died last night in Shillong, where he had gone to address students at the local Indian Institute of Management. He was 83. A large number of relatives, friends, well-wishers and common people have gathered at Kalam's house at Rameshwaram. The mortal remains of former President APJ Abdul Kalam have been brought to Delhi. Last respects were paid to the late former president at the tarmac of the airport after his body was brought from Shillong by an Air Force helicopter. Several leaders, including Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi and senior IAF officials, joined in paying tribute to India's missile man at the Guwahati airport. A Bharat Ratna, and who was also called Missile Man, was popular as People's President. Kalam, who would have turned 84 in October, was confirmed dead nearly an hour after he was wheeled into the ICU of Bethany Hospital in a critical condition following the collapse at around 6:30 p.m. Arriving at the Indian Institute of Management (IIM) around 5:40 p.m., Kalam took rest for some time and started the lecture on Liable Planet at 6:35 p.m. He collapsed 5 minutes later, according to Director IIM Shillong, Professor Day. Kalam last tweeted, going to Shillong to take course on Liable Planet at IIM. He was admitted to the Bethany Hospital at 7 p.m., a kilometer away from the institute, but he showed no signs of life when he was brought to the hospital. Dr. A.M. Karbamon, a specialist who attended to Kalam after he was brought to the hospital, said he was declared dead at 7:45 p.m. His body was taken to the military hospital where it was kept for the night and was flown to Guwahati by an Air Force helicopter early on Tuesday morning. Considered the most popular president, Kalam became the 11th head of the state and occupied the post between 2002 and 2007, but lack of concession denied a second term in office for a man who came from outside the rough and tumble of politics. Leaders cutting across the political spectrum paid glowing tributes to Kalam, with President Pranab Mukherjee and Prime Minister Narendra Modi describing him as a people's president and an inspirational leader who dedicated his entire life to the nation. Both houses of parliament are likely to make obituary references and adjourn as a mark of respect to his memory. The Union Cabinet will meet in New Delhi on Tuesday to condole Kalam's death and adopt a resolution hailing his services to the nation. The government has announced a 7-day state mourning in honor of former President APJ Abdul Kalam. However, there will be no holiday. As a mark of respect to the departed dignitary, 7 days of state mourning will be observed throughout India from July 27, 2015 to August 2, 2015, both days inclusive, an official statement said. However, all central government offices will remain open and no holiday has been declared. During the period of state mourning, the national flag will fly at half-mast of all buildings throughout the country, where it is flown regularly, and there will be no official entertainment. The CBI has registered the 16th FIR in the Vyapam scam and has initiated a probe into the mysterious death of one suspect. The FIR has been registered in alleged irregularities in the Combined Assistant Programmers and Data Entry Operators recruitment test, which was conducted by Vyapam in 2013. 20 people have been booked, including then Technical Education Minister Lakshmikant Sharma, his OASD OP Sukla, and then Exam Controller of Vyapam Pankaj Trivedi in this case. They have been charged with different sections of IPC, IT Act, Prevention of Corruption Act, and MP Recognized Examination Act. Bangladesh has only a little more than 100 Royal Bengal tigers living in the Sundarbans forest, far fewer than previously thought, new figures show. Forestry officials say a survey using hidden cameras counted 106 tigers in the wild on the Bangladeshi side of the world's largest mangrove swamp and about 74 on the Indian side. The figures mark a sharp decline from the 440 animals recorded 10 years ago. Experts say the decline is mainly down to rampant poaching, but they add that lower numbers also reflect more accurate surveying techniques. All previous surveys counted tiger paws print, which are unique to each animal but difficult to spot, collate and analyze. And before we wind up, the top stories once again. 38-hour general strike called by Joint Action Committee formed in connection with the death of Robin Hood brings normal life to a complete halt. Thank you so much for joining with us, and do stay tuned for more news.